Hello, PokeMoshPit. This is Armedfro here. It's been a while. This is going to be an OU match versus Zulphy. It's a very fun match. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to lead with my Salamence, my short bus, as he switches into his he leads into with his Infernape. I get the Intimidate off, and I'm thinking the Hin Power Ice is coming because I have seen Scarfed Hin Power Ice leads as he actually goes for the U-turn. It's not going to do jack because of the Intimidate, and I 4 times resist that as he switches into his Jellicent. I know I can 2-hit KO this Jellicent with the Shadow Ball just because of Chandler's amazing special attack, as I know I can take a Scald as well. So I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball. He does get the Cursed Body, which disables my Shadow Ball completely as he gets a Toxic off, which I was confused about that. I wonder why he just didn't go for the Scald. It would have probably 2-hit KO my Chandler, but you know what? It gives me more health on my Chandler for later on in the match. So, I'm going to switch into my Ferrothorn as he goes for Recover on the switch. I'm thinking pretty much any one of his guys on his team is not going to like a T-Wave, so that's what I'm actually going to do on the switch. I could have set up spikes, I could have gone for Leech Seed, but he does have a Ferrothorn of his own. I really did not want to T-Wave another Ferrothorn. That would just be completely pointless. But here, I'm actually going to go for Leech Seed to see what this Mew is going to do. It seems like it'd be a bulk up set, which it doesn't really matter too much because I do have a Chandler with Shadow Ball. So he's going to go for the Drain Punch. It's going to do about a little more than a third, as the Iron Barbs and the Leech Seed damage is going to whittle away at him. Sadly, I do get the Parahacks. I was going to go for the Spikes to actually set up some spikes on this guy because almost every one of his guys on his team actually gets hit by spikes, except for his Togekiss. But right here, I'm going to go on my Edward. Should have been shiny female, but you know what? Whatever. As the Zen Headbutt's not going to do jack to me. But sadly, I really cannot do that much to this guy, except for set up my own Stealth Rocks and make this Togekiss a little less harder to bring in. As he actually switches on the Togekiss on the switch as I go for my Stealth Rocks. This Togekiss is just be a pain in my ass. So what I'm actually going to do is I am actually going to go for the Toxic. As he actually goes for the Nasty Plot, which I have not seen a tank Togekiss with Nasty Plot in a long time. He seems to be like max speed, max special attack, but you know what? Whatever. I'm actually going to go for the Protect, just trying to stall the Toxic a little more as he goes for the Nasty Plot again. I don't know if he was just being greedy or just predicting my Protect. Either or would have been really bad for me. So right here, none of my guys actually resist flying, which is really bad in this metagame. I've come to find. I'm actually going to probably switch my Chandler for a Rotom Wash form, but you know what? I'm going to go into my Jellicent as Death Fodder just because she's completely worthless. Pretty much anyone on this team is just really bad against this guy, and he can't really do anything right now, so bye Ruto, you're dead. So right here, I'm actually going to switch into my Terrakion, my Bill, which is Scarfed, which can easily outspeed this Togekiss. I'm going to go for the close combat because I do not want to miss the Stone Edge. But sad for me, he actually switches into his Jellicent. If I went for the Stone Edge, it might have 2-hit KO'd this Jellicent if I didn't miss. But right here, I'm going to switch in my Ferrothorn just because he can't really do anything to me. He actually predicts that very nicely, goes into his Infernape. I really do not want to stay in here. So I'm going to predict either the Flare Blitz or the Close Combat and switch into my Chandler as he actually goes for the U-turn. Really good move, because now he gets a switch advantage. And again, he's actually going to switch back into his Jellicent. This Jellicent is just a pain. But I want to go for the Shadow Ball. I really want to go for the Shadow Ball, but the Toxic is going to bring me down more and more. So I'm actually going to switch out and go into my Saria again, as he actually goes for the Ice Beam, predicting my Salamence switch, I'm assuming. As right here, I'm actually going to go for the spikes because I want to set up more and more spikes on this guy just to make this guy harder to switch in, because that's what seems to be what he loves to do, is just switch, predicting my switches. So here, I'm pretty sure I'm actually going to No, yeah, I'm going to switch into my Salamence, just predicting his Stealth Rocks, because I do not want Stealth Rocks up while my Salamence is switching in and out. So here, I'm going to go on my Short Bus, which is... I hope you guys get the nickname later on, but I'm going to go for the Fire Blast, just hoping his Ferrothorn actually stays in, and this Jellicent is just going to take it like a beast. And right here, I'm going to predict him to either stay in, take my Draco Meteor, or predict my Ferrothorn switch, just thinking that I can't do anything to his guys, as I go for the Draco Meteor, which is easily going to take out this Infernape, as he predicts my switch into Ferrothorn. So that's actually really good, a pretty decent threat, completely gone, as he switches back into his Bonagaru. And from the damage, I'm really hoping that if he is max defense, instead of max special defense, I would have been able to take that out. But you know what? I had to try, as he actually gets the Curse Body, and he goes for the Recover, which pretty much ensures that I have to switch out. I could go for the Roost, but I really don't want to, as I'm actually going to switch into my Ferrothorn here, as he actually goes for the Ace Beam, which really good time to switch out. But right here, I'm actually going to go for the Spikes again, as he actually switches out. I forget who he switches out to, but I know he's actually going to go for the Spikes as he switches into his Scizor, which, not really a huge threat to my Ferrothorn. He could go for the U-turn, which I'm okay with. If I go for the Leech Seed, Leech Seed is the guy that comes in. U-turn is Stab, and he's probably Banded, which is going to do a pretty good chunk to my Ferrothorn. But I'm going to set the last layer of Spikes here, which is perfect for me, just because I have my whole, what is it called? Entry hazards. But I do get the Parahacks, but this Ferrothorn isn't exactly threatening to me. So he's actually going to predict my switch into Salamence again, as he gets the crit, which doesn't really matter. And I'm going to go for the Spikes, which completely completes my entry hazards. And I'm actually going to go for the Power Whip, predicting his switch into Jellicent, predicting my switch into Salamence. But he does not. He decides to set up his own Spikes, which in hindsight seemed completely obvious. But right here, I'm actually going to switch into my Chandler, just hoping that he could do something in this match, because the Chandler does do a lot, except in this match he's not doing jack, because he's just getting Curse Bodied. So right here, I'm actually going to go for the Flamethrower, just hoping he stays in, being stupid. But you know what? I could try, but he actually does stay in. I go for the Flamethrower, which is easily going to take out this Ferrothorn. Hopefully he sends out Jellicent so I can do a lot of damage to him too. But right here, the Tox is just racking up as he switches into his Mew. I know I can outspeed, so you know what? I'm just going to go for the Shadow Ball. The Spikes and the Stealth Rocks just make it so much easier to kill him, but he does have the Sucker Punch, which easily going to take out my Chandler, which in hindsight was predictable, but you know what? Mew can learn pretty much any move. So here, I'm actually going to go for the Stone Edge. As it misses the first turn, he was going to go for the Drain Punch, but luckily for me, it does not. It doesn't connect, because he does get Paraxed. I go for the Stone Edge. He lives with such minuscule HP, it's not even funny. He goes for the Drain Punch. I'm actually going to live that, which is surprising. And luckily for me, it comes to a place where he cannot live another Stone Edge, so I'm going to go for it, and that's going to easily take out his Mew, which was a pretty good threat because he does love to set up with that guy. So I'm actually going to predict a Bullet Punch on this Scizor, as I'm going to switch into my Gliscor, just because I'm purely defensive. I know I can take anything this guy throws at me, and even if he goes for the Bullet Punch, I know I could take at least two. So he actually goes for the U-turn, which is really interesting because coming in, I'm pretty sure he's going to die to Stealth Rocks and Spikes, but you know what? He can bring in his Togekiss. It's poisoned. I know I can stall this guy out just because Gliscor is just extremely bulky. But you know what? I'm gonna decide to switch into my Salamence just to show him off a little more. As even if he does go for the T-Wave, I'm pretty sure he was gonna go for the Roost, So even if the Toxic is dwindling him down even more and more and more, I just want to kill this guy straight out. So here, I'm actually going to go for the Roost as he actually switches into his Scizor as death fodder just to see what I was going to do. Just I wanted to get some health back, so I decided to go for the Roost as pretty much ensures me the game. But he's going to switch into his Jellicent from where he is at. Let's try this again. I'm going to go for the Draco Meteor, and that's going to easily take out this Jellicent. And only thing he does have left pretty much is this Togekiss. I'm actually going to decide to stay in just to stall this guy out a little more with the with the Toxic, as I'm going to go for the Draco Meteor. It's not going to take him out exactly, as long as he doesn't go for the Roost. I'm pretty sure I do have the game, as the Air Slash is going to take me out with a crit, which doesn't matter because I do have my Terrakion just to come in and just completely wreck this guy with a close combat. So that's going to be a very good game, Zulphy. If you like this match, check out my channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and as always, stay classy. Bitch.